We're going to read a story, but the good thing is that I've prepared everything, so that's always a good thing, and I have it in a box. And a see-through box, what do you think that might do?
Oh.
Yeah, you know, again, depending on your children, some might be too overwhelmed with that, and you bring one thing at a time. But if you have a box ready, that is helpful. And you know, gathering round together in a circle is good because it's a good way of passing things round. And for some children who you think might want to hold on to things, then have extra sets of stuff so that you know they can hold on to it and somebody else can still experience the thing. So the stories are, again, minimal sentences with something to go. So we're going to start with Palm Sunday, Jesus entering Jerusalem. And we're going to say that Jerusalem was hot and Jerusalem was dusty. When you walked along, you could feel the sand and dust under your feet. Now, I haven't got any sand, but I have brought some sandpaper. So I'm going to let you all kind of feel. Just walk your fingers across the sand. So sometimes you might have multiple pieces of equipment that you can share out with everybody. And we're just going to spend a little time thinking about that dusty, dry, hot surface as people walked around Jerusalem. I think you could do this with real sand, or you can do it with something like this. Okay, have you all had a feel of that? Right, if you're happy and you've had a feel of that, we'll collect that back in. That's the first part of our story. So Jerusalem was hot and Jerusalem was dusty. It's a good idea to then put, when you collect them all in, to put them in an order of the story, so you've got a sequence then. Okay. Jerusalem had a special visitor. His name was Jesus. Jesus told his friends to go and borrow a donkey. At this point, I'm going to introduce a sign to you as well. So the Makaton sign for Jesus is this. Okay? And the Makaton sign for donkey is this. And you know what? I couldn't find a donkey, but what I thought, what does a donkey feel like? And a donkey is quite nice to stroke, isn't it? I think. So I wondered if you'd like to have a feel of that, as if you were stroking a donkey.
You'll have some children going, ee-haw.
We have a sound of a donkey as well. So on these little recordable things, I'm going to let you press the button and see what comes out. You can start. So these are called recordable postcards. And you can get things like talking tins as well, little recordable devices. You can find them on Amazon, and they're brilliant for all stories because the children can record into themselves, and you can put a little picture or a word on.
Yes, I've had a few. And all the kids will still be doing this.
Yeah, doing this. And remember the sign, we can be practicing Jesus' sign while we're not holding something as well.
Middle finger,
Middle finger, so we're pointing to where the nails will be, and that's a sign for Jesus.
Thank you.
So these are to remind us of the donkey. So the people that were excited took off their coats and put them on the ground in front of the donkey. Now, when oh, have I missed a bit? Thank you. We'll edit that bit out. Yeah, Jesus climbed, thank you. Yeah. Climbed onto the donkey and set off down the hill. Down and down they went till they reached the city gates. Now, donkey's hooves on the ground can make a sound. Do you want to have a go with a clickety-clock sound? You might want to use something like a drum. Or you might even have these kind of clappers things. You might even have a set of coconuts. little bits of wood. Would make a nice, very adaptable resource. So while you're listening, everybody, think about the donkey walking down the street with Jesus on his back, making those noises. Let's hear the donkey's hooves now. It's going some pace, that donkey, isn't it? Now, for those of you, we can include movement in this if you want to. So if you feel that your children are ready for a move, you can get up and do a journey around the room. Yeah? And we'll use movement in that as well. Making the noise of donkey, following the procession, because this is a procession. Okay, I am going to ask you to move in a minute. I'm just giving you a warning. It's good to sometimes warn the children of what's coming if they need it as well. Thank you. Those are to remind us of the donkey's sounds. Lots and lots of people came to see Jesus. They were a very noisy crowd. Some people were jumping up and down in excitement. Before we do that, if anybody doesn't like all that noise, you can put your hands on your ears. And if you want to stand up and jump up and down and be excited. And as a sign for excited celebration. Okay. But some people were not excited. They were angry. And they did not like Jesus. So if you can clench your little list. If anybody wants to, look, I've even bought an angry fist. I want to have a good squeeze of that with an angry fist. Something to squeeze. Often when we feel angry, our whole body goes tense, and we might feel angry like this, and if we squeeze something, it will give us that excitement. The people who were angry with Jesus were feeling like that, and they were annoyed. They didn't like him, so they were angry. So we've got our people that were excited and celebrating, and those that were angry. Put these in our sequence. And if you put these in sequence, you can use them to get the children to retell the story, because there's a really good visual clue of what happened in the story in the sequence. Okay. You might find things like this as well. That might, a visual thing as well. Okay. Now we're going for coats. So the people who were excited took off their coats and put them on the ground in front of the donkey. Does anybody like to come and do some laying? I've used fabric for coats, and I've brought different colours, different textures, different weights of fabric. So who would like to come and lay their coat on the floor in front of Jesus? Want to choose one? Yeah? Anybody else? Where did we go? Okay, just roll them out on them. Let people see the swishiness of them going down. Excuse me. And now would you like to walk over the top like Jesus would have done? All of you. Yeah, the donkey with Jesus went over the top of the coats. Yeah, well done, thank you. You might want to leave some of that on the floor, depending on. But we'll put that there now. You can leave that there, it's alright. Other excited people climbed up the tall palm trees. They cut off the palm branches and waved them around. This is my favourite. I've collected these for years. Palm branches. Just get them at the, kind of range and all that kind of thing. So let's give some of those out. Let's wave those branches. Now you're all being very, very sedate, but children will love this. No, this one is quite much. Make sure if you want, everybody gets a turn, so think about the people behind you and next to you. Okay, let's wave them. Okay, and the sign for tree. Waving the tree. So if you're not holding one, you can be waving your tree. So we're going to keep those for the next bit, because while they were waving, they were shouting, Hosanna, Hosanna. They were so happy to see Jesus. So shall we do that together? Again, if you don't like the noise, you can put your hand on your ears if you like. Are you ready? After 3, we're all going to shout Hosanna, Hosanna. 1, 2, 3. Hosanna! Hosanna! That's it. Oh yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you might have some other things to wave as well. So I've just brought some other things that I happen to have because I'm a collectomaniac when it comes to these things. And collecting things that we can use in sensory stories.